A SWAT standoff in Silver Shekel near Breck ends peacefully after 15 hours. Phil Lindeman, Krystal, 93 News. A suspect who threatened to harm himself and neighbors in the Silver Shekel neighborhood north of Breckenridge surrendered peacefully this afternoon after a 15-hour overnight standoff. Summit Sheriff Jamie Fitzsimons.
He threatened harm to himself, he threatened harm to deputies, and he threatened harm to neighbors.
The suspect is male and a local resident. Authorities have not released his name, but confirmed no one was injured. No charges have been filed.
We can always go back on something like this and look if there's relevant charges, but the most important thing after a peaceful resolution like this, especially with someone in crisis, is to get them the help they need.
A family member called dispatch around 10 p.m. yesterday, and deputies arrived on scene soon after. By midnight, the suspect made threats, and Summit SWAT evacuated nearby homes. Authorities then lost contact until 1 p.m. today, soon before he surrendered.
We would wait 15 hours any day of the week to get a peaceful resolution.
All road closures on Shekel Lane are lifted, and families have returned home. Today, on The Price of Fun, opening day lift tickets. It'll cost you at least $48 for a full-day adult lift ticket at A Basin tomorrow and $65 for a ticket at Loveland on Saturday. A Basin tickets top out at around $104. At Loveland, the most you'll pay is $79. On opening day in 1958, a ticket there cost $3.75. Tune in again next week for our latest report on what it costs to have a good time in Summit on The Price of Fun on Krystal 93. A Basin opens for the season in less than 24 hours, and this morning, the National Weather Service released its annual winter forecast. Forecasters expect above-average temperatures for the western U.S., including Colorado, with a 75% chance of El Niño weather, but heavy precipitation is limited to the southern U.S. Drought conditions will persist in the Rockies, but a small chance for above-average snowfall could help southern Colorado, where snowpack was half of average last season. Snowpack at local resorts was also below average last year, ending with 271 inches at Breckenridge, 208 inches at Copper, and 302 inches at Loveland. The November election has 17 ballot questions, including 6 tax measures, but some are tricky, like 6A, 6C, and 6D, with proponents like Summit Fire and EMS. Chief Jeff Barino explains them as revenue stabilization measures to battle the unintended side effects of Gallagher, an amendment designed to protect from overtaxing.
It was passed in the early 80s with good intentions to balance what residences and commercial properties pay.
But Gallagher is flawed, and local fire districts are bleeding hundreds of thousands of dollars every year.
Right now, someone pays 7.2% of the assessed valuation of their home. Under the new rates, which will go into effect in 2020, they'd be paying only 6.11% of the value of their home. The net result is a 15% decrease in revenues for the fire district.
The bottom line?
It will not increase one's tax burden.
In Colorado, all tax increases must be approved by voters through the Tabor Amendment. The biggest tax question for Summit County only is Measure 1A, a mill levy increase to raise $88 million over 10 years for 5 community initiatives. One initiative is $1 million annually for wildfire prevention, including fuel breaks. Proponent Tamara Drankstevit explains why that's important.
Families can't afford to lose houses to wildfire in this community. Our community can't really afford to have a wildfire catastrophe.
A local group, the Forest Health Task Force, has not taken a stand on 1A, but sees the benefits. Spokesman Brad Peel.
When we first moved to Summit County 25 years ago, people were not talking about fire at all. People were thinking these high elevation forests basically don't burn very often. And now we've seen 2 fires in the last 2 summers that could have been much worse.
The task force launched 12 years ago in response to the pine beetle epidemic. Authorities say fuel breaks in Wilderness saved thousands of homes this summer during the Buffalo fire. Fuel breaks are usually funded mostly by the Forest Service. In sports, the Avalanche play the New Jersey Devils tonight. Puck drop is 5 p.m. And on Thursday Night Football, the Broncos play the Cardinals. Kickoff is 6:20 on Fox. And in local sports, brought to you by Wilderness Sports, Summit High Volleyball is in Steamboat Springs for Steamboat today, and cross country is at Homestake Peak School in Eaglevale for regionals. Phil Lindeman, Krystal, 93 News.